Hello everybody, it is that time of the week. It is your illustrious host, Inferno Drake and Dragon's Fury.
Hope you all been having a good week.
We hope that all is well, all is good, and all is not bad in the world that you may live in.
And if you've been having a bad week, hope this will help brighten up a little bit.
Yes, for two disembodied voices will always make your day better. That being said...
Yeah, nothing weird about that statement, but okay.
Oh, that's mild compared to what's been said on this show.
I mean, that's fair, but still.
Yeah. That being said, shout out to our newest region that has been added. We have lovers and fans in Austria. So thank you for coming, and thank you for staying, and hope you enjoyed what you enjoyed when you found us. And once again, the reigning champ for top episode is still Plot Armor, and it's only increased its lead being on YouTube, and that's crazy given the fact that when all of the episodes were ported over, a lot of them were bulk ported over, so the fact that Plot Armor still was able to get through all of the weeds and the masses of the episodes that we have done to still be the number one listened to episode that we have done to date is crazy, and I don't know what to do to get the other episodes up in popularity, so I guess we'll just have to ride out that people really love us ranting about Plot Armor problems. But support is support, and we thank you, and all of those who have gone over to Apollo's channel and shown your support over there, and all of the funness that we have on that site as well. So, thank you. Yes. Today is going to be about a deeper trope episode, and it is going to start. Realistically, I would like this to be like a mini-series. So it's going to be the underrated and or overrated, depending on what you think, comic relief. So these are the various characters that have the quote-unquote comic relief title, and we're going to go through some and see if they deserve that title, or if they deserve a different title because in reality they're actually something else. So I have traversed the interwebs and have found a list of 11 different characters from different genres. We have one from book, we have one from movies, we have some from games, we have classic cartoons, and more, series and stuff like that. So going through this list, we'll see if we agree with them being considered as comic relief or not. So first,
I'm curious about the book one.
First on the list, we have Luna Lovegood from Harry Potter. I particularly did not really get into the series like that, so I have zero idea who the deuce that is.
So Luna Lovegood was basically like this quirky character they introduced in Order of the Phoenix, if I remember right. Yeah, Order of the Phoenix, because it was after... Wait, no. Yes, Order of the Phoenix. I was trying to remember because it was when Harry was starting to see Thestrals, basically the horses that you can only see if you've seen someone die in front of you. But yeah, you see Hogwarts Legacy. But yeah, it's like she showed up then, introduced as this quirky character. Basically, like the thing she says when you hear it doesn't make sense, but it. In turn, it's really like she knows what she's talking about. It's just a weird way to go about saying it.
Interesting. So, does she fit as comic relief? Is that the role that she plays, or is she just a character that just happens to be funny.
I feel like they wanted her to fit that role just because of how quirky she could be, or just like how she comes across can be seen as like like as some lightheartedness to a scene. But I'm not sure if I would say comedic relief, because like I feel like for a comedic relief character, like one, you would need to like find them funny, at least in my opinion, or it's like they would have to like really find a way to like either take away from the seriousness of whatever the current situation is.
Okay.
At least that's how I see comedic relief. I'm pretty sure everyone has their own definition.
That's true, but I feel like within reason, it's still a objective agreement, and
Yeah.
so I have gotten input from Mermaid saying that it is also someone that is the second option of what I gave, that it's less of comic relief and more of just a character that could be seen as funny.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in that case, like she does kind of like give some lightheartedness to a scene, so I'll say that she was most likely entered into the story to be a comedic relief in some form.
Next up, we have Lewis from Ant-Man. And
Gonna need your input on this one.
So yes, he's definitely comic relief. This was what was Ant-Man's actual name in the movie? I can't remember.
Man of Ant.
Dang.
I never actually watched Ant-Man.
I can't for the life of me remember what his name is. Oh well. And I'm not going to take the time to look it up because I really don't care. But the point of the matter being is that it was
It's like Scott or something.
Sure. Lewis was his pretty. Was it his best friend? I have to ask the more knowledgeable one who binges the movies.
Yeah. It was Scott Lang. That was his name.
Okay, so yeah, Scott.
Yeah, as it's like it wasn't Pym because that's the scientist who made the suit. But yeah, I really can't add much input on this one just because like I never saw Ant-Man.
Well, yeah, but that's fine. I did. So yes, Lewis is the best friend, and
Okay.
he is that ride or die best friend that will do, for the most part, anything to help you out the best way he can. The problem is that his best is not always the best. A prime example, they get into a situation that then leads them to be under the influence of what he believes to be a truth serum, and it basically just gives him word diarrhea. And so he just keeps going.
Easy yapping.
The thing is that he already did that. Like, he was just a fast talker, got everything out that he needed to say. Not necessarily all coherently, but being in that situation made it worse. So definitely comedic relief, because there's no way that you can say he's not in a hostage situation, and then now everyone is focused on the idea of, wait a minute, is he actually under the influences of truth serum or not? Like, the man's literally being interrogated, but we don't think about that for the time being of him running his mouth. So
it's yes, like, is he actually telling the truth, or?
So yes, A grade comic relief. Next up, we have Claptrap from Borderlands.
Yeah.
Yes. There's no discussion.
There's no question. Like, if you know Borderlands in any form, whether you play the games or not, or just seeing little snippets, you've seen Claptrap, you know he is there to be funny, and he succeeds.
Yes, like straight, pure unadulterated. he is there for the sake of bringing, whatever the situation may be, down to a level that's more manageable, or just to throw the situation in disarray with what he has to say. So definitely comic relief. This one is definitely up for discussion. London Tipton from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh, Jesus. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised he was on the list. God. I honestly don't... I wouldn't consider comedic relief. I'm pretty sure they intended her to be that way, but even as a kid, I was just like, why are you stupid?
That was unfortunately a big thing. It's just like, why are you, like, how are you this dumb, right?
It's
that
the
being
Prindle.
the main thing. That was funny.
No, it was funny when Mr. Mosby chimed in.
Yes, he was talking about the Prindle. That it was enhanced with when Mr. Mosby like bringing in, because that was one of the few times where what she would say and what she would do was actually on the level of who was watching, right? That was kid logic, right? I understand a certain thing up to a certain point without the weird nuances, and that's what that is. There you go. It's the freaking Prindle. Like, there's no explanation outside of that besides, what an acronym is. But there you go. Like, it was pure logic in the sense of this show was for kids, and so like it made total sense. I would say that she was a part of the comic relief package where there were more characters that were meant to bring some funny elements to the show outside of what the show was already meant to do in being a more humorous and kind of like whimsical style show. Because obviously you had Zack and Cody doing their random shenanigans as is already, and what would come of that. You had Mr. Mosby being the more serious, rule-oriented individual to give you that balance, and then everyone kind of in between, with like Esteban being more realistic but quirky. The mom is more, neutral with, quips here and there. What was Ashley Tisdale's character's name? Maddie. Thank you, hon. And so she was also kind of more neutral, but like leaning towards the funny, because like she was trying to be more than what like people perceived her as, kind of deal. So it was just kind of like this package of comedic relief versus it just being one person, and like London being a part of that versus it's just like she is that character. So that's where I stand in regards to that for the show. Now,
I'll agree with all that.
So next up, we have known in the direct translation of the show, Mr. Satan, aka Hercule.
Oh, Jesus. Mr. Satan. Yeah, I mean, he is definitely the comedic relief for Dragon Ball. Like, there really isn't a question there.
I want to give him comedic relief asterisk. And I say this because Hercule he wasn't close enough to the main story enough for, I feel like, to be dedicated like being like the comic relief character. I feel like with all of the other stuff that we've been saying, that it was like, oh yeah, they are like Claptrap. Claptrap is there all the freaking time, right? He's everywhere. Like, he's a part of the main thing.
Like, even when he's not there physically, you will hear him at any point in the game.
You still have voice lines of him coming up, right? Like, and same with Lewis from Ant-Man. Like, when it wasn't being super serious, anytime Lewis was involved in any aspect, he was there. Like, he's core to the main character and the main story. So with Hercule, I don't think he's core enough for me to be like, yeah, total comic relief character in the sense of how I judge it. Comic relief asterisk. Like, when he did show up, yes. And then when, like, he shows back around with the whole Majin Buu thing and whatnot, it was kind of a weird, like, comedic relief redemption arc. Like, he was trying not to be the comedic relief. Like, he was trying to be like, hey, I understand that people don't take me serious because of X, Y, and Z, but, like, I still do have some sense of, like, sense that, like, I can contribute kind of deal. So, that...
I was like, I'm here.
He's like, I'm here. It's like, another founding member of comedic relief, Krunk, from Emperor's New Groove.
I loved Krunk.
We all love Krunk. And if you don't love Krunk, you're lying to yourself. Fits all of the things. Core to the movie.
Yeah. Like, I honestly feel like if you didn't have Krunk, you wouldn't not have an Emperor's New Groove.
Right. Like, it is the core fundamental character to it. It wasn't just the fact that, you know, he's, you know, the himbo, but like, him existing and interacting with the various characters added development to the story and added character development for the other characters, and good or bad, because realistically he probably drove Yzma up the wall to do even more crazier things, because at a certain point it stopped being the, hey, I'm trying to further my goals, to, hey, I'm trying to further my goals that are Krunk proof.
Which, man, did not get Krunk proof.
Of course not. When you are the cosmic bumbling idiot of your, you know, verse, it's kind of hard to be, you know, proofed against. I don't know of this one because I did not read this one, but it is Puddleglum from the Chronicles of Narnia.
Puddleglum.
Yeah, Puddleglum.
Seeing as how I've only read the first one.
So, according to this description, he basically seems like he's Igor.
Okay.
So it says, as his name suggests, Puddleglum is the gloomy and pessimistic marsh wiggle from the silver chair. He's always ready to find the worst of every situation, often poking fun at himself in the process. Sounds like Igor. Not sure how that qualifies as comedic relief. I understand that falls under dark humor, but
yeah,
that's still not.
Yeah, that would not be comedic relief, because I mean, the fact that he's gloomy and pessimistic, it's just like, that's not gonna make anything better.
Yeah, no, like, I'm definitely not feeling better about you making a joke about yourself, especially if it's like a character that the other ones actually like. Then it's just kind of like, okay, well, what you doing? So I do not agree with him being on the list. Next up, we have Team Rocket.
Yeah, I'd say they had their moments.
Yes. Their argument was that they were comic relief in the way of how bad they were of being bad. Their intros are hilarious, and the audience is always looking forward to see them blasting off into defeat again.
We're blasting off again.
Now, I don't know if I would say they were bad at being bad. I think they were subject to aggressive plot armor. Because, let's be real here.
Hey, throwback to the popular episode.
There's episodes of them showing them being, I wouldn't say masters of disguise, because as the viewer, you know it's them. But if you frame it from the point of you don't know that it's them inverse, they're pretty good, right? Because if they weren't, then they wouldn't be able to, sneak up on them, like Ash and the team, or whoever, the current target is at the time, all the time. Like, yes, it got to a point where they weren't surprised it was Team Rocket, because who else would cause these kind of shenanigans? But they were still causing all of these problems. They have all of these, of course it's framed in a very comedic way, but like, these machines of doing what they were doing are very malicious.
Oh yeah.
That like, if you put them in a quote unquote more competent villain's hands, people would be dead. Easily, right? Like, you're disrupting natural resources on a massive scale. You are kidnapping on a massive scale. You're causing destruction on a massive scale. I don't think they're bad at being bad. I just think that the show was bad at letting them win.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to talk about disguise, there was that one band episode where James had quite the just.
Yeah, just straight up going, completely different. So I think they had comedic relief tendencies to lessen what they were doing, because they were making the situation stressful. And then in their defeat, we now have the haha moment that lightens everything up, right?
Yes.
So that is that. Let's see, who do we have left? All right, we have one more that we're gonna have time for. I did not watch these, so I do not have a full testament. But Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park.
Ian, I need to look this up real quick, just to make sure it's the right character I'm thinking of. Ah, yes, the guy that goes, a lot. The way he was portrayed because if I remember right, he was in the first and second, but I feel like he was meant to be more of a comedic in the first one. I mean, he definitely gave the atmosphere a bit of a lighter tone at times, so I guess you could throw him into that category. Because, like, especially in the like serious moments, like he would end up like saying something witty or trying to, yeah, I don't know, say something like stupid to like, which kind of helped with the serious nature of what was happening.
Okay.
I haven't seen the first Jurassic Park in years.
So that is all that we have time to cover on the list. There were others. Obviously, there was, like, the list was a little bit longer. Just throw out mention, we have Christina Yang from Grey's Anatomy, which, of what I've seen, I don't realistically, I wouldn't call her comedic relief. I would just kind of, because she kind of falls under that sense of, like, I wouldn't say necessarily pessimistic, but it's definitely like the dark humor. Like, a lot of the jokes that I've seen are made at other people's expense of her very, I really don't care what you think of me attitude. Like, I'm here to do a job, and like, we either get along or we don't. And like, it's very like, bust each other's balls kind of level of humor. And I guess in the framework of Grey's Anatomy being, you know, this high stress, high energy medical show that, like, you know, if you have time to crack a joke, then, you know, it would bring some relief. And I use that very loosely. But like I said,
Yeah.
In how I've been judging the idea of it, she doesn't fit what they were using as a criteria, maybe. So, like, what they said for her, just like the quick one through it, is like that and while many of the cast take on the role of comic relief, that she sounds the brightest, sarcastic one-liners aside, her cockiness is the most awkward, like in the most awkward situations, have birthed many iconic scenes in the series. So it's like her just kind of existing, I guess, is what they see as like the comedic relief, and then like everyone has the tendency to be the comedic relief, or like take on the job of comedic relief. There isn't a designated one. So I don't know.
I feel like in those kind of shows it really just comes down to, it's like, I don't know, I feel like it comes down to like you said, like everyone has like a chance to be the comedic relief, but I don't know, it's like I feel like if you are the character that is more focused on the dark humor, or just like you don't really lighten the atmosphere at all, I don't really know if you can count yourself as a comedic relief person.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I would say in that front, like in agreement with you, is that it really, like, you need to detract fully from what is normally happening. Like, it needs to take a full 180 from like, hey, we just got away and we're barely like holding out, but it was like, oh hey, but the finding the silver lining kind of person, but making it in a way that everyone can enjoy is ultimately
making the best of a worse situation.
So within reason, right?
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, your beloved just died on our table, but let's crack a joke.
Let's crack a joke. Okay, yeah, nope, that's probably not a good idea. That's that is autism related, but who knows? And with that, we have reached the end of our time. We hope you enjoyed our little discussion about the various characters that may or may not fit into the comic relief role. If you would like to continue down this path, the subscriber episode is going to be about what could make our comic relief characters better. So we would love to hear your opinion on that. So leave a comment on this video, and so that way we could talk about it in the next video. And if you would like to be a part of that one, drop that few dollars to join the Patreon, or just if you want to do audio only, you can do it through Spotify. So next time, we're your hosts. We love you, and we out.
See you next time.